What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. In this video, I want to talk about the trade rumors swirling around the New York Giants and Detroit Lions wide receiver Kenny Golladay. Supposedly there was an article out there that said the New York Giants reached out to the Detroit Lions to discuss what it might take to get Kenny Golladay here. Now, that can't really be confirmed or not. It was just kind of out there. They said the New York Giants called Detroit. They didn't say how deep the talks got or anything like that, so nobody really knows. But it got some Giants fans excited. You know, Kenny Golladay, man, he's 6'4". He would be Daniel Jones' Plaxico Burress. Because remember, Eli Manning got Plaxico Burress in 2005. They had a really good rapport for the 4 years that Burress was here. It's unfortunate Burress' demise in 2008. Might have won another Super Bowl that year. But Eli and Plaxico always had that chemistry, and he was a great red zone target, and we all know that we have really struggled in the red zone. So Kenny Golladay makes perfect sense to come here, no doubt about that, a receiver of that stature. Our wide receiving core has been really poor, and there's no doubt about that. There's no way you can deny the wide receiving core has been less than substantial here. Sterling Shepard's been constantly hurt. Golden Tate has been inconsistent, and Darius Slayton the same thing. He's just kind of been getting locked down. He has good moments, but nothing like he had his rookie season. So Kenny Golladay here makes perfect sense. There's no doubt about that. But the trade for him makes absolutely no sense. Just like it didn't make a lot of sense last year when we went out and traded draft picks for Leonard Williams. What was the point of that? We were going nowhere last year. We were not a playoff contention team whatsoever. They went out and they got Leonard Williams. A lot of people killed Dave Gettleman for doing just that. So why would we go out and get Kenny Golladay when he's an unrestricted free agent? It does not make any sense whatsoever. There's no reason to give up draft capital. We only have 6 picks. We have a first, second, third, and fourth rounder and 2 sixth-rounders. It would make sense to move people. It would make sense to move Golden Tate. There's been articles out there talking about how the Giants, there's 4 players that the New York Giants should look to trade. Golden Tate is one. You're not going to get a lot for Golden Tate. You might get another 6th-round pick for Golden Tate. But Golden Tate might be perfect fit for the Ravens. They could definitely use another wide receiver over there in Baltimore. I mean, they're a Super Bowl contending team. They could use a veteran presence like Golden Tate. Golden Tate has been all over the place. He's been with a lot of teams, and he can adapt. And he's a very solid wide receiver. And maybe in a change of scenery is going to help Golden Tate out, and he could definitely help a contender. There's no doubt about that. So moving him, Kevin Zeitler's a guy that they've talked about. Leonard Williams is a guy that they've talked about. Maybe the Giants should take a look and trying to get rid of, unless they're going to sign Leonard Williams. And Kevin Zeitler is the other one, because Leonard Williams and Kevin Zeitler are probably not going to be here next year. Neither is Golden Tate. They're probably going to cut him. They're going to get no cap hit for Golden Tate whatsoever. So it makes sense for the Giants to be sellers, and I said this in a video a couple of days ago. Kenny Golladay, again, he's an unrestricted free agent. If the Giants really wanted him, they could go out and just sign him. There's other good wide receivers out there. I mean, there's a couple maybe second-tier wide receivers like a Corey Davis, like a Will Fuller. They're unrestricted free agents. Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, these are your top-tier unrestricted free agents. There's a lot of really good wide receivers out there. The Giants will have cap space to sign one of them. See, if Kenny Golladay was on a contract like Odell Beckham, where he's locked up for 4 years and you want to do it, okay, I could kind of understand that, because at that point you're like, Golladay is going to be part of our future. And if that was the case, I would completely be on board with it. I would understand that. But the fact of the matter is, the guy can walk next year. Why would we give up pieces if Golladay is going to go to another team? And it's very possible. I know some guys talking about Daniel Jones, like, we got to bring in Kenny Golladay. We got to bring in these guys. We got to see what Daniel Jones has. You don't have to see it this year. You don't have to see it this year. Giants aren't moving on from Daniel Jones unless they're picking first overall, in which case they may go Trevor Lawrence, which I think that they would if we had a new GM. But you never know. Either way, if they did bring in a Trevor Lawrence, or they did bring in a Trey Lance, or Justin Fields, or any of these guys, well, guess what? You could still go out and get your wide receiver, and you could give them the wide receivers instead of Daniel Jones. It really isn't that difficult to fathom that. But again, it just does not make sense. I don't see any way feasible that the New York Giants bring in one of these wide receivers at this juncture in the season. I know this division's bad. I understand we're a game and a half out of first place. I understand that Dallas is pretty much done at this point. It seems like they're giving up. There's no doubt about it. That's not the team that started the season. No Dak, and now Andy Dalton's out. They're playing Ben DiNucci. They're dumping a bunch of players. There's talk of Amari Cooper going to Green Bay, which would actually make sense for Dallas to do and get some draft capital back. But there's a lot, they're pretty much mailed it in. We've beaten Washington. We're the only team in this division to beat Washington. We played them in a couple weeks. We could beat them again. And the Eagles, we were right there with them. And Evan Ingram drop is the reason we lost that game. So it's not like anybody in this division is any better than we are. But how far are you really going? You know what I mean? I think that, again, if Golladay was on a long-term deal, if he was locked up for years to come, it would make sense. Or any of these wide receivers that would be locked up for long-term deals and be here for the foreseeable future, it makes sense. But when the guy's already an unrestricted free agent, just sign him. You can have your pick of the litter to go out and get a wide receiver if that's what you want to do. There's no reason to give up draft capital. The Giants want to move Evan Ingram over to Detroit for Kenny Golladay. I'm in on that. You can do that. I would trade Evan Ingram for a half-eaten bag of tortilla chips and a half-drunk beer, okay? I don't like Evan Ingram. I think a lot of Giants fans are sick and tired of Evan Ingram. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think if Evan Ingram went to a different team, he'd blow it up. And I'm not going to lie about that. I think this is just a bad spot for Evan Ingram. I think the losing has gotten Evan Ingram. They say he works hard in practice. Results just don't show on the field. And I think that that's part of it. I think when you come into the year, and remember, he was a rookie in 2017. His team has been bad since 2000. It's been bad since he got here. So if he went to a different team that could use a tight end and there were contenders, he'd probably play a lot better. And then Giants fans would go, look, I knew he had it in him. And maybe he does. He just doesn't have it here. So that's probably our best piece to trade would be Evan Ingram. That's the only way I'm doing it. If you want to get a Kenny Golladay or an Allen Robinson or any of these wide receivers, I'm willing to trade a player away, but I don't want to give up draft capital. When you are, 10 and 29 since Gettleman took over here, and you need to build and you're rebuilding, and we're still rebuilding, you rebuild with the draft. You don't rebuild through free agency. So you get a piece here, you get a piece there, but we have so many holes to fill, you need more draft capital in order to fill those holes. Kenny Golladay to the Giants is nice if we can go out there and get a guy like Kenny Golladay or Allen Robinson or Juju Smith-Schuster, even though Smith-Schuster's a little bit shorter. If you want a tall wide receiver, Corey Davis is 6'3". Those guys are out there. Corey Davis might not cost as much as a Kenny Golladay, who's going to make $19 or $20 million per season. So, again, those are all options for the Giants. I just would not look to make any trades, as far as giving up picks. I don't want to do that at this juncture. We're not good. We're 1-6. Still think we're the best team in this division, don't get me wrong. But it's all about winning a Super Bowl. And I understand we got to win games. We got to get a winning culture here. Kenny Golladay will help Daniel Jones and all that. Win with what you have. You have to build for the future. I did a live stream last night. I forgot where I heard this, or I don't know if it was in my live stream last night. Somebody said it would take away it would hurt players' morale if they started trading players away. They're 1-6. I think players would understand it. I think it would also send a message to the players that would still remain here. Hey, if you don't get your stuff together, you're going to get out of here. Of course, maybe players will be like, well, I want to get out of here. At this point, I don't know. But again, man, I understand people that want Kenny Golladay here, and I understand the need for a number one wide receiver in the worst way. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense to trade for one. Get one of these receivers next year in free agency. Sign them that way. Because if you trade picks and then you want them back, you're going to be giving away picks and you're going to sign them. So just sign them without giving away the picks. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got for this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Would you want Kenny Golladay? Would you want any of these wide receivers? Would you be willing to trade for a wide receiver? Or would you rather just wait until the offseason and sign one of these guys as a free agent? Till next time, guys. Bad diggity dizzle, and I'm gone. Peace!